More than 30 years ago, parts of Roxbury and Dorchester in the Dudley Triangle were threatened by gentrification and disinvestment. The community met the challenge through the Dudley Street Neighborhood Initiative, and part of the strategy was to redevelop vacant or neglected properties for the benefit of local residents with help from a land trust, Dudley Neighbors, Inc. That accomplishment will be celebrated on Saturday with the unveiling of a new work of public art. To tell us about the event and the story are a visual artist and artist-in-residence for the Dudley Village campus, Nancy Guevara, and the Director of Operations and Stewardship with Dudley Neighbors, Inc., Tony Hernandez. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
I want to start with Tony. Talk about the history here and what's been going on with this land over the past few decades, really.
So Dudley Street Neighbors Initiative started in 1984. It was a group of local residents that frankly got tired of the disinvestment that the neighborhood had, fire for arson,
dumping too.
Illegal dumping grounds. We've got local residents still today that remember when they were kids waking up in the middle of the night and seeing trucks dumping things on the empty lots. As a result of those residents coming together and taking it to the city eventually gave these residents control of all of these empty parcels. So that culmination created DSNI, Dudley Street Neighbors Initiative. And as a result of that, they inherited all these parcels of land and reached a point where they said, okay, what are we going to do with all this empty land? And so 5 years after DSNI was created, DNI, Dudley Neighbors Incorporated, is a subsidiary of DSNI, charged with managing the operations and stewardship of the land trust. A land trust is designed to maintain community voice and community control over what happens over those sites. And so as a result of that, about 30 years ago, DNI then inherited these parcels of land. We had about 1,500 empty lots throughout the Dudley Village campus. Proudly today, we have about 226 units of affordable living throughout the land trust. We have a 1.5 acre farm. We have a 10,000 square foot greenhouse, playgrounds, community gardens. And that was, due to a lot of my predecessors fighting for the right to have community voice and control over a part of the city that was really disinvested.
Nancy, tell me about your installation, because you're doing this primarily for people who know this story, so what's important about having a public art to tell that story?
So the actual idea for the public art installation was just passing by Dudley Street every day, Dudley Street going to DSNI, and there's a huge piece of open land, green space, that was previously blocked by this white picket fence, right? And so as artists, we sort of had a vision of what else could be on there. How can we break down that barrier and invite people to the space, to activate that space as a communal area where people can reflect on what it means for the community to be able to own that land and manage that piece of land. And what does it mean to have that power of controlling what will be on that land in the community? So it all started there. And really I'm proud to say that this project is community centered and done by a lot of people from the community. We have Carla Muquieta, who is a local artist from Dorchester. We have Youth Builds Youth, who are being trained in the trades and construction while getting their GED help us. We have all these community partners that are coming together and helping us create this.
Tony, what's the event going to be like on Saturday, the unveiling of this?
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a culmination of the struggles over the past 30 years of a community that started with nothing and now has a voice, now has control, has generated sustainability, economic sustainability to some degree. And Nancy's art project is a culmination of that effort over so long by so many residents, and it brings into an artistic form that success. And so we're looking forward to it. It's on Saturdays, November 7th at 2 o'clock. It's going to be a pretty festive event. We've got bands showing up and local artists, and it'll be the unveiling of these really cool, I don't want to give too much away, but some really cool letters that were designed to sit over the site. The site itself, in a matter of, I'm hoping no more than 2 or 3 years, will occupy a 3 to 4 story commercial building that will serve the community. The land belongs to the land trust, so after a community process, we're looking to put a commercial building there that will serve the schools, local businesses, the food project, which runs our farm and our greenhouse. And so we continue to look to create synergies to serve the community locally.
Right. Nancy, what's this going to be like? I mean, picture it for us.
Picture it.
The installation.
I think it's going to be representative of the people that live in the neighborhood. It's going to celebrate the people's culture. Again, we don't want to give too much away, but it'll be a beautiful space where people can reflect on what it means to own their own land.
Tony, you know, as you mentioned through the trust here, people have been able to make a trade-off. They can have more control over their land and it's more affordable, but you also have some things built into the trust here to discourage speculation, people cashing out and trying to profiteer as well.
Yeah, so being a homeowner on a land trust, for our particular model and a lot of models throughout the country, granted there are about 250 or so land trusts throughout the United States. Fortunately, we at Dudley have a long track record and we have good success. To be a homeowner on the land trust, you have to sign what we call a ground lease. And so that ground lease, essentially, you know, broken into layman's terms, is where the homeowner purchases the home. We, the organization, we own the land that the house sits on, and we strike a ground lease agreement agreeing to lease out that land to that homeowner for 99 years. And so within the verbiage of that ground lease, there's language that restricts the homeowner from doing super luxurious things to the home, because the goal is to maintain the affordability of the house. So if that homeowner decides to sell, it remains within reach to the next family looking to create home ownership. And we build in an equity formula that caps the appraisal value of the house over you know, its lifetime. And so it's all designed to create continuity of affordability. And so when I do orientations for folks that are looking to buy homes on the land trust, I forewarn them. I'm saying, if you're here to flip or make profit off of this home, this isn't the program for you. It's designed to maintain affordability and control in the neighborhood. And we want folks to move into the neighborhood and stay. I moved into a land trust property 15 years ago now. You know, so I not only know about the land trust, I live on one. I've lived it. It's created opportunity for me, my family, my daughter, financial stability, educational progress. And so this art project is a reminder of the things that can come out of that success.
And Nancy, if people want to drop by for the unveiling, what's the time and place they should?
So the time is 2 to 5, November 7th, this Saturday. And the address is 492 Dudley Street.
Okay, thank you both very much, Nancy Guevara and Tony Hernandez.
Thank you so much.
And that's our report for tonight. You can follow us on Twitter at @news_BNN or look for us on Facebook at Neighborhood Network News. I'm Chris Lovett. Thanks for being with us.